All right, this video is on bad analogies as race bait. I've seen easily 30 or more of these things just today. Y'all know what I do when I see enough of that bullshit. What do I do when I see 30 Christians in a day about how terrible all Muslims are? Well, I start trash talking the Christians in exactly the same way. Life is grand, ain't it? It's fine to do it to other people, but you don't fucking like it when it happens to you, do you? Fuck no, you don't. Y'all were fine with people threatening me, harassing me, and assaulting me for over a year before Natalie was killed. That was fine, wasn't it? I has a penis. All right, there's a moron over here who is going to get reported. I gotta close that. I put him in timeout. So let's see some of this race baiting. I know a lot of y'all are like, show me some proof, show me some proof. So let's fucking show you some proof. All right. First thing we'll do, we'll go to this site here. This is a friend of mine named Mandy. Now, she does post up a lot of the similar stuff that I do. Some of the stuff that she posts up is about racism towards black folks. Now, let me read this to you. This is from Mandy Singer. She typed, I have a friend who spit on a cop and was charged with attempted murder of a law enforcement officer pending disease screening. Dropped to first degree assault when the screening came back negative for disease. What will happen to this officer? Because an officer decided to spit on a suspect. I've seen that plenty of times in real life. I've seen plenty of officers, all right, not plenty of officers. I've only seen 3 officers spit on homeless people. Oh, Richmond, Virginia. Gee. One of the officers that took part in the assaults against me claimed if any of the water that was on the floor touched his boot, I was going to get charged with felony assault against a police officer. Fuck the pig. Fuck their abuse of power. Fuck the fact that public pretenders don't do their goddamn jobs. Mm. All right, now here's an analogy. Imagine your child dying and you were giving a eulogy explaining what your own child meant to you and how special your child was. And then when someone grabs the mic and says, actually, all children are special. That's what All Lives Matter sounds like. Embarrassing. That's wrong. Is 100% wrong. Now, when I show you the other analogies, it'll explain to a much better degree than this one. But here's the thing. First of all, you're using your imagination. That's a good start. That's how you start off putting yourself in somebody's shoes. We're not talking about a parent and a eulogy. We are talking about a national issue. This isn't a single parent. It doesn't even have to be a single parent. This isn't a parent giving eulogy about their child. It's a national outrage. When I say outrage, that's actually the word I mean to use. People are raging enough because they're getting fucked by the government. And then you want to up the ante a bit, don't you? First of all children are special. But the fact is, just because your child was murdered doesn't mean that nobody else's children were murdered. This isn't about George Floyd. It's not. Black people aren't up in arms because George Floyd was murdered. They're not. They're up in arms because it could happen to them at any point in time. However, it's more likely to happen to a homeless person. By a lot. Most of these analogies, including this one, they all leave something out. All of these analogies, train. Every single one of these analogies hits the realm of complete and total fantasy bullshit because it's not just happening to black people. Black people are not the only people who are afraid of being victimized or killed by the police. The homeless. I want to know, every single one of you who is black, who is on here looking at this, at any point in time, whether it's live or not, I want you to type in how many loved ones you have lost to police brutality. Not just that number, but how many people that you loved were killed by bad laws and by bad law enforcement. If your total is not above 300, then you do not get to have a pissing contest with me. Because you will fucking lose. Now that right there, that analogy, pretending like only that person's child died. No, lots of people's children are dying. This isn't about the dead one. It's about the fact that people are afraid of the police because of all of these dead ones. How many of you can name for me the 15 black men, 15 unarmed black men who were murdered by police in the last 3 years? None of you. Not fucking one. Now let's find some more of these analogies. I know there's another one on Mandy's thing. Now, Mandy, she does fight for our rights. She fights for homeless rights. She fights for black rights. She fights for missing and murdered indigenous people's rights. How many of you do that? I don't agree with the narrative. That doesn't mean that she's a bad person. Let's see. And I'm sorry that I didn't have these all prepared ahead of time. It's rather difficult to do. It'd be nice if it was easy. It'd be nice if I had all of these magic abilities, but I don't. Fuck it. Here's one for you. If hurting me doesn't hurt you, don't ever tell me you love me. That's the point. However, it's not what I'm